actually synced it up right with the countdown. Amazing. How's everyone doing tonight? It's Monday evening, and we are going to start off with some building and green stuff, because everyone loves that, right? I think. Sup, Gosu! Oh, I'm a broski now. I feel like that's an upgrade. What did I ever do to deserve such a status as a broski? What's up, man? Did you play around with that iOS for OBS? Oh, I forgot to run an ad. Well, I mean, you're a good Gosu, just I forgot to run an ad while the countdown was going. I've been trying to do that so I'm not immediately interrupted by an ad as soon as I start actually streaming. Nah, yeah, long day my brain. Ran up high. Hey, Venom! Doing Fusion did VA? Oh, wow. Well, I suppose that's a good thing. Actually, I don't know why I'm cutting that yet. I don't have the skeleton for the green stuff rocks yet. Yes, I know that the Bladeguard comes with rocks, but they're nowhere near as impressive as the rocks I've been giving everyone else, so these tactical rocks will have to remain tactical rocks, and I will upgrade these bases to strategic rocks. Sure. Depictable by their more impressive girth and length. We smoking rocks! Yeah, we are. Let's get some rocks out here on this desk. Let's go. Where's some other interesting bits on this thing? I try to, just because, I try to keep the sprue bits that are the skeleton of the rocks from the same sprue as the unit came from. The pure superstition. No real reason. Your strategic... do strategical robot. Why am I trying to say robots? Rocks have their own ranking color sheets. The tenor rock gets a skull on it. You know, we can make that happen. You want a rock with a skull on it? I'm gonna smoke a rock for straight. Yeah, it was. Hey, you got no idea what I gotta do to prepare for these streams? No. Listen, I just read what he put. It says strategical. So, it's strategical rocks. That's what it is, yo. That's probably enough. Three good rocks is good. That's usually what I do. So, yeah, I'm already thinking that one right in the middle. I mean, let me try to get an angle we can kind of have more perspective. We'll even try a thing called zooming in. Maybe, even maybe. Even includes that shaky action cam. So I'm kind of thinking, what was I thinking when I clipped this? I don't know. Probably just like that. That's more like a ridge. Yeah, I need a file. Yeah, what are people up to? Go see you working on some Iron Warriors right now? You deflating with some siege bros? Got some base from older models I finished painting but never based. Fair enough. I probably have some like that somewhere. Oh, yes, that shelf over there. Yes. I have miniatures. I've built miniatures on 3 sides of me. I am a what do you call that? I am a peninsula in a sea of miniatures. And I wouldn't have it any other way. There's gonna be some wacky geography this Bladeguard is gonna be rolling up on here. I think it'll be good. Fortunately, 40 mils is a lot of space to work with. Well, after doing how many 32 mils, it feels like it's a lot of space to work with. What are you working on, Venom? Are you still working, or are you gonna put some time into some Raven Guard tonight? I think I've come upon a decision for my Raven Guard, by the way. So I started that crazy librarian project, and I still feel a little overwhelmed by that. Part of that is because, to be totally honest, it had a pretty bad fall about a week ago. Last night I finally got around to gluing the pieces I managed to recover back together, and it is still missing some smaller details. Because this thing, it's like a weird type of 3D print. I'm not really sure what the material is exactly, but it functions a bit like pewter almost. So the thing like shattered, like properly shattered, bunches of little bits everywhere. And I got it back to like 98%, but the lack of the other couple bits, and they're on details of it I really liked too, has me considering putting that off until I can maybe recover a few more of those pieces. And I'm kind of just I'm still not quite in a rested enough space to go into that level of like a high level technique that I was working on. So I think I think my main project right now is gonna actually be a little calmer. And that is not finish my partially painted first squad of their company, the tactical squad that I've had like sitting around for forever. Not working on that, because why would I do something so logical? But instead, start building and subassembly and then paint second squad infiltrators, because those I'm much more likely to use on the table right now in the current meta. Even though I really conceptually like the tactical squad, and I'd like to get around to finishing their Rhino/Razorback at some point, it feels like the momentum is way more there for something I'm much more likely to actually use, at least until someone announces a crusade in my local area. But I've not heard anyone doing that anytime soon, so yeah. It's like, I could make use of 10 more infiltrators. Like that can see some combat. I'm gonna unzoom here a little bit now that I'm messing with the green stuff here, as you probably want to see this part. I don't know. So that's what I'm kind of thinking for my own collection. As for what we're doing tonight, Venom kind of saw earlier. Go see what I'm doing right now is prepping the Bladeguard, one of the first Bladeguard veteran base. And then after that, we will resume painting. Here's the piece I was working on in the last stream, which is up to just the white armor itself remaining. Also, take a look at that purity seal. As soon as it focuses. It's trying to focus. I'm going to manually assisted focusing, because that is oh. There we go. Looky there. I'm quite proud of that scripting and dry brush combo. That thing came out very clean. Also, take a look at the wax seal. The wax seal! Actually, the wax seal and the bottom of the scroll, actually. I put a little bit of freehand on both of them. Quite proud of that. So yeah, let's go back to autofocus. I'm still kind of working these next 2 weeks on my worst rotation in my job. Oof. Takes way more time. I may try and do some snow basing and tufts tonight, since I've got pretty much everyone painted. I also got my third belt painted. Nice. When I start writing profanities on my purity scrolls. Dude, if my parents didn't still live here, I'd have so many words right now for that, in response to that. Dude, you guys wait till my parents move out. This is gonna become an 18+ stream, like, real quick. You have known table in a cage. I have been a caged table this entire time. You don't even know. I am pure... Oh, yes. Yep. Purebred degeneracy. Let's go. Nah, I guess not that purebred, because the breeding is the problem. But no, I am a pirate. Get some water on this while I prep to start layering the rock. I'm kind of thinking is like it's gonna be like this interesting bit where it's two sets of stones on each side, kind of coming out in like a V thing, and the Bladeguards coming up between them. Oh, I just snapped the small one over there off, because that's good. But yeah, let's just say, YouTube won't appreciate it, which is, I've kind of, like, already gotten lazy and stopped, like, uploading my VOD straight to YouTube, which is probably a problem because, well, I haven't done anything worth a tutorial in a while. It was just finishing up those bloody Assault Intercessors. They're actually kind of lacking in blood. You know, if they were mine, that might have been different. So, anyway. My finger's all sticky from who knows what. Probably the Greenstuff. I can't let go! Let go! It's not gonna be a problem once the Greenstuff is on, but geez, until then, it's a real freaking problem. Yeah, no, I'm imagining this is gonna get much funnier in a few months from now. Hopefully, by Christmas, New Year-ish, they'll have succeeded in moving out. They've been working on it for a while. They're actually just waiting on a single specific thing to occur. One set of my dad's military benefits getting turned on now that he's retirement age. And my plan is to stay in this house that we are currently renting and sublease the rest of the building. I've already gotten pretty comfortable in the basement here, so I'm not so worried about me so much as, oh hey, there's 4 rooms that I could rent out for, you know, relatively speaking, a very cheap price, but in combination, very easily cover the bills. And then actually, because they're moving out, I will probably be eligible for food stamps again. So actually, I will have all of my base expenses, you know, taken care of if I can fill all 4 rooms. Actually, a pretty nice gig while I grow, you know, my other 2 businesses up more, or this business up more, or whatever I end up doing. My investment schemes, whatever. I'm still very easily in the food stamp, so I'm not too worried about that. The reason I don't have it now is because I live with my parents. It's a very arbitrary state rule, state law. How do food stamps work? Basically, you prove to the state that you make X amount of money, and X amount of money is way lower than, or not way lower, but like under specific quantities. If you know, if they agree based on your proof that you are under a certain income amount, then they send you this debit card with a pin on it that they fill up with your monthly, you know, allotment, whatever that is. So let's say, so the entire time I had food stamps before, when I was living with my ex, I'd get just under $200 a month, and it could only be spent on food, and only certain food products. So no ready-to-eat stuff. Used to be like no candy, no soda, no junk food like that. Now you can buy stuff like which I think is garbage, but whatever. That affects me much because I eat very clean, so. But yeah, here's the problem. In Rhode Island, the state I live in, they have a rule. Not a rule. I don't know why I keep saying a rule. Oh, because I was looking at 40K rules earlier. There's a law as part of that program that if you are over 23 and live with your parents, you're not eligible. That's the entire thing. That's all of it. They don't care what your financial situation is. You could be taking care of your parents. And they still would not give you food stamps. So it is. As far as I know, we're the only state that does that. Because I am well within the income range for food stamps. Yeah. Very easily eligible. So, yeah, that's a thing. Now, well, no, I would still be, yeah, no, I'd still be definitely eligible, because even though I'd have all that income from the sublease, most of that's going into house stuff that I would have all the bill paperwork for. It's only a little bit of income for me on the third person, and then the fourth person is like basically all income, but it's about as much as the average person around here anyway, makes at their job. Actually no, it's less. I was thinking like yeah, actually, yeah, no, it is less. Yeah, I still wouldn't even be, from that, I wouldn't even be making 4 figures a month in disposable income. I'd be making, yeah, no, I'd still be, yeah. Anyway, even if they didn't give it to me, with four people, that'd be fine. The tricky bit, here's the thing, I can get screwed in this plan. Right off the bat, I can get screwed if the landlord decides to not agree to let me sublease, though no one really thinks that that's likely. No one in this situation. I haven't broached him with the question yet, because my parents haven't confirmed they're definitively moving yet. They really, really want to, and you know, in theory, they're about to, but like they have not confirmed that, so I don't want to kick that hornet's nest just yet. The other thing is, if I can't get at least 2 people in here like immediately, I need at least 2 people. I have 1 guy lined up. I've had him lined up for months. He's ready to go. I don't have anyone else I know that would fit the situation immediately. That being said, for what I'm offering in this area, in this economic climate, and no one thinks it's gonna be hard. It's just, I just have to put out some Facebook posts, basically. How much do I charge? So there's 2 sizes of rooms. Smaller one would be 600 a month, larger one would be 700 a month. However, right off the bat, no kids, no pets. I'm not, just flat out not gonna deal with any of that. No kids, no pets, renter's insurance. Yeah, right? What I'm thinking is, like, straight up, marketing to, like, you know, young single guys just getting out into the world. This is actually a pretty... Here's the other thing. It's not a nice house, but it's a pretty decent house in a very nice area. I'm right on a lake. I'm not on it, but, like... If you walk to, like, if you walk to the mailbox and look left, you see over the hill, the edge of the hill we're on, and there's a lake. Like, it's at the end of the road is a lake. And there's, jobs, from entry to mid-level type stuff, like, in walking distance of here. And it's not super far from a bus route either, actually. It's a little bit more of a trek, but not terrible. pay $4.75 a month for this place, and it is a steal. Not the best but I've never been screwed with. Yeah, I currently pay $3.30 to my parents right now, and then to cover, you know, all my food and stuff. So that's a pretty good deal, but I mean, you have to consider that I live in the basement. I'm in the basement right now. My bed's like right there. Yeah. I am also their first and last line of defense against mold and flooding, because these walls have leaked multiple times. So, like, you know, I also handle most of the vast majority of the lawn care, and it would be snow removal, except that, you know, my mother and sister both go to work well before I wake up, so they end up dealing with it anyway, so they can actually leave. Or I might leak on stream one time. Let me see if I find a clip. I had, it was like a month ago. I had on stream. I just started a stream. I'm like, man, it is like raining cats and dogs. I really hope it doesn't. Yep, there's water right there. I'm gonna go. Actually, yeah, I can probably pull up the date because I made a Discord announcement of that one. I have a bunch of Discord pings. Are these? Okay, only one of them is addressed to me. I was just a cool paint job, dude. Where? Hold on. Okay, announcements. Here we go. Let's see. Where did I, yeah, I don't know where the announcement went. It exists. It's on the YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure, anyway. Oh, where did it go? Fascinating. Maybe I put it somewhere else. Interesting. Anyway. Alright, moving on. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, alright. I have so many funny clips, I can't believe there's this many bangers. I feel like not that much funny stuff happens on my streams, I'm not sure why. I think I'm hilarious. No, it's just, I don't know, just stuff doesn't really happen, it's usually just like, you know, conversation. I'm trying to figure out how to get these rocks to look like the rocks in my head, which are a bit, firstly, they're flatter, by the way, they're not so, they're more wedge-shaped, first and foremost. Let's get some wedges going on. Can we get some wedgies in here? Can I just order some wedgies? Maybe I just put that in, like, general chat and, like, mark the person I was talking to at the time. I don't know. I know I posted something about the fact that my walls were leaking, like, right after the stream started, and I spent, like, over an hour plugging it up. This is not going as smoothly as these normally go, by the way. I'd normally be nearly done. I think the pieces are, the spine bits are making it, are encouraging them to be more vertical than I originally intended. Alright, that's a little bit better. A little bit closer to that, am I? Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. I can carve that into what I want. How's this doing? Oh, that feels fairly solid. I also want a little bit of a connecting hump, I suppose. Dude, try and describe what you have in your head about green stuff. It's a linguistical challenge, let me say. You need more putty. Here's a question. Do we think I'm gonna run out of this brick of putty before this commission ends? I've considered a possibility before. The actual biggest question on my mind? What am I doing after the stream? Like, am I painting the second squad, a third company? Infiltrators? Or not painting, I suppose building them more. Do I want to pick up, Shadow of Mordor again? So I've been thinking about that game. I've been watching through the Hobbit. Or, I just finished watching through the Hobbit, actually. I need more blue. I don't know how I'm always lacking on blue. Yeah. Always lacking on blue. But, yeah, it just got me in, like, a Lord of the Rings mood. I know I should probably start watching the Rings of Power, because my mom keeps trying to talk to me about it. I'm like, yeah, I know basically what happens in the Silmarillion, but went into my chat taking hundreds of clips of me. Well, that's a good sign. Oh, man, when I just realized that's gonna be happening when I start doing the Elden Ring streams. Like, you know I'm using a bunch of randomizers, right? Like, my current thought is I go in as a wretch with item and enemy randomizers and see if I can survive the horrors. I don't even know what build I'm going to be going for, because I'm guessing it's going to be entirely dependent on what I find. The worst of it is that there's, like, multiple, like, game progress required items, and I'm not sure how they handle ensuring those are actually available in the points that you, like, at points that you can actually reach. Like, they're not behind the things they unlock, because they're all keys. Like, you need certain keys to get into certain places, or you can't continue the game. So I have to do a little bit of research and make sure that that's a thing, or this is gonna be a little wacky. 1 second left to paint. Yeah, go for it, man. This is looking fairly good. This is a lot more like what I had in mind. Just gotta carve it now. I'll use this as a little hump in the thing that connects them a little bit here. A little rise in the terrain. Yeah, and this stage doesn't need to look good. The next stage is where we actually make stuff look like, you know, actual rocks. Which I'm gonna get. Where's the tool I want? This tool. This little carving tool, which I wetted down just now. Gotta, hold on. Oh, so have a easier grip on this, considering what I'm trying to do with it. It's not perfect, but oh, there's plastic, like, right there. Good to know. All this can come back and be a little bit more up. I figure out what color I want to do on the bottom of my base on my Mars-themed bases. Well, you could go with your inside of a forge area, a manufactorum, for example. Or you can do a molten rock, lava field wasteland, because those exist, even though Mars is, currently tectonically dead. But, that happened in the not the Siege, the Horus Heresy books. Or you go classic Red Earth. In a guide, they recommend Corvus Black. Corvus Black for the... Oh, are you talking about the rim, or are you talking about, like, the ground? The rim. I mean... just, like... I don't know, I thought everyone just did, like, pure black. Like, Abaddon Black. Well, wow, I was doing Eshin Gray on my guys because it was the same color as the Earth on it. But then people started saying I had, messy looking bases. And I'm like, what's that mean? I mean, it's literally dirt. It's... I don't know how much cleaner you want my dirt to be, but, alright. Is it just me, or, like, a lot of people, hobby-wise, can get real nitpicky about art direction? And specifically art direction, because, like, the more I tribalize my Raven Guard, the more I run into people being like, why do they look so chaosy? Dude, they don't look chaosy. They're covered in bones and feathers. Have you not seen any of the other super tribal space marines? Like, this is not new. Additionally, chaos is covered in spikes. Like, both sides are covered in skulls. The spikes are the giveaway. I don't have spikes. Just coming sick to like 50% of people are out of their goddamn mind and will judge people for anything. Yeah, basically. Like, I swear, over half the comments I ever received about that tank, the Sakaran Vander, with the whole, like, tribal standard thing on it, was, I don't know, it feels pretty chaosy to me. It's something along those lines, something about being chaosy. Like, there's a chapter named The Bone Knives. That's their chapter name. That is an official successor chapter. That is a real thing in the lore. People have not read up on their successor chapters, and it shows. You don't think the bone knives don't have some fetishes hanging from their armor? Some trophies. That's not just, I mean, literally, like, the chapter we're painting right now, White Scars, it comes with human skulls as decoration pieces, as trophies. Like, or the silver skulls. The, oh, what's their name from Devastation of Ball? There's a successor that, like, they still talk like tribal people. Like, that's how tribal they still are. Like, they're from a feral world. I don't remember. It was a pretty amusing, like, it's a part I really like, actually. I just can't remember their name. towards the end as the like after the warp rift opens. It's from the perspective more or less of a sergeant of like the fourth company that finds himself as chapter master because the chapter's been that smashed by the Tyranids. He's like, why am I chapter master? This is dumb. Also, I wish I knew why the sky was burning. If any of the librarians, or their name for the librarians, were still alive, maybe I would know. Or maybe the tech marines. Maybe if any of them were still alive, maybe I could get some answers. and then his old squad second, now a company captain that has like 2.5 squads, is like, yeah, so what are we doing now? Are we just... I guess we have to stay here, huh? This, I'm gonna have to remember not to use these low pegs as skeletons. This is really annoying how it keeps, like, flapping left and right here. I don't know if it's actually gonna help the final form. The fact that it's doing it. Alright. How am I feeling about that? That's looking fairly volcanic rocky, I think. Yes? Maybe? Maybe. I think that's fairly good. Yeah. I'm gonna set this aside. This'll cure. And Wednesday, we will be able to prime and base paint that. By base paint, I mean like the basing texture paint. Put these tools away, and I can move the camera out of my face so I can actually sit forward so my back can stop hurting. So yeah, I think people are nuts. Also, it's not like Raven Guard don't take trophies anyway. Like, just standard in-canon Raven Guard. I should probably replace my water, huh? So we're about to be painting white. Yeah. Yeah, reddish water, probably not the best idea. Alright. I will be right back. I'm just gonna do a BRB screen for, like, not even 2 minutes and refresh the brush water. Actually, we're not gonna need that for a little while yet. First, we're going in with Apothecary White. Another thing I could work on, I don't feel like working on it, because it's complicated and annoying, is tribalizing my Storm Raven, so I can finally take pictures of that and post that up. Because that's only been sitting around, you know, partially done for months now. It's crazy to realize that, but yeah, it's been months. Where's my painting box here? There's a lot of stuff in the body. I want some of the tip. Yeah, I definitely want to set up my Storm Raven with like chains and skulls and skins. Maybe some more freehand. Maybe expand that bird skull, I'm thinking. As you know, honestly, painting like this with this pauldron is really annoying, I'll tell you. I don't care for it. It's like, there are reasons I do sub-assemblies, and this is messing with it. Whatever, it's the first shade. It's not, probably not gonna be super good anyway. Super obvious, for that matter. Here's what I gotta look up before we get to it. Are all Bladescar veterans, do they all have red helmets? Is that a thing? I was looking at some pictures of Bladescar's Bladeguard earlier in the codex, and all the ones I could find have red helmets. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's veteran sergeant or just veterans, period. Probably something I should know before I get to this guy's head. It would actually make painting his head way faster, let me tell you. Not sure about scars. Yeah, me neither. I'm sure it probably says in the 8th edition codex, because that one is way more about chapter structure and well, I guess coloration, yeah, like it's painting stuff, basically, like it's codex compliance crap. I don't know, I can't think of it. There's a word, but I was smoking rocks before stream, so I can't remember my own language. Seen Dave Chevelle, Rick James skip before. Oh man, so many years ago, I barely remember it. I remember back in high school, I had a couple friends that would endlessly quote it, like, non-stop. It was really annoying after a while. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, nah, it's just what they say over and over again. Over and over again. It's really bad. It's pretty cringe. We were all pretty cringe back then, so... You know, that's what teenagers are, effectively. There was this great post I saw a while ago. It was... Anyone that knew me before I was 20 didn't really know me. It was my season 1 and the writers were underpaid and going through something. Yeah. It's a pretty good perspective on it, because yeah, if we look at our lives like seasons of a show, yeah, no, none of us should be taking the first seasons that seriously. Which also, it's like, look at your life like a show. Go nuts, get crazy. Give people the cliffhangers and sun reveals like in a show. Oh, I did. Nice. I keep people around me guessing all the time. They got no idea what the next thing I'm gonna try is. That's fun until it isn't fun anymore. That's just in my nature. What's the next crazy scheme he's gonna try? Who knows? Find out next week. On my life. And here's the thing. It takes me as much by surprise as anyone else. I always have a plan, but extremely rarely does it actually go to plan. Always have a plan and at least 2 contingency plans, if not 3 or 4. And not even contingency plans usually work out. Because usually the entire plan gets changed halfway through with new information or new developments. Man, it is so annoying to get into this whole and arm situation. I don't like it. Like, it just defeats the entire purpose of doing sub-assemblies right here. Granted, it's not really going to be visible. Got that working for me. It's still annoying though. It's going to be a little bit visible, which means you need some stuff going correctly. Alright. I think that's all the apothecary light. Alright, sir. Oh, thanks, man. We're only like halfway done with this. Beginning work on the Bladeguard vets. I feel like whoever commissioned this project should tip you $1,000 for making the white look good with the GW whites. I mean, I could only hope. Yeah, don't get me started on how the commission thing went on the back end. It's a nightmare. I see the Caliban Green flowed into the flow improver, so that's great. Can't use that now. How's this shader here? This is a little old. Oh, this is actually very usable. Never mind. Never mind. fact that it's mostly Lammy and medium kept it, you know, pretty good for a while. Yeah, he's still working on Iron Warriors. What you working on today? What's up, Siren? What are you up to? Thing is, you're not streaming right now, clearly, so. Just chilling before I go on tonight. Oh, cool deal. What's the plan for what you're painting tonight? Going to work on Sons of Horus though? Nice. There we go. Yeah, I still can't figure out what I'm doing after the stream. Honestly. I can't decide if I want to paint or potentially start playing Shadow of Mordor again after a few years. I never finished it. I mean, I am making progress and stuff looks good. I'm really proud of this Purity Seal, for example. A little bit of freehand on the wax, a little bit of scripting nonsense towards the bottom. If you notice that Thundercloud and Thunderbolt, thought those are pretty fun. Yeah, I'm excited to get to the crazy parts of this guy. We've already decided that the shield skulls are all going to be actual bone. That'll be fun. Tomorrow I'll be working on some new emote ideas and maybe some badges on my traditional art stream. Which is funny because the current ones haven't all been approved yet because they're taking their time on that. That more sounds good. Freehand looks good. That will look good. Yeah. Thanks. Sorry, I'm just trying to juggle like 4 different thoughts right now. Yeah, and eventually I'd like to start working on some merch again. I've got a bunch of merch ideas I've been sitting around. I've not really had the time to dedicate towards, you know, like drawing. So the new art stream has me excited to get started on that again. Especially because with the new, like, I was making merch designs before in, like, just image editors. I didn't have a tablet until recently, so it's just gonna revolutionize how that goes. And also, look at it this way, it's also freehand practice. Because if you can draw it on a tablet, with these with these drawing apps that you have, like, paintbrushes with like resistance and stuff, and what's the other word, adhesion, like a paintbrush does, then if you can draw it on a tablet, you can paint it onto a mini. Probably easier. I actually find it still easier to freehand right now than it is to draw on the tablet. I think it's because I know how the brush is gonna react. The stylus is just frozen. it feels dead. It feels like a dead tool. The brush has a little bit of like animation to it. The stylus is it's not. I don't know if that made any sense, but yeah. Overall, I'd say, yeah, we're doing great over here in this low corner of Twitch. Oh, sometime soon, next couple weeks, I'm gonna be starting to do infrequent but existing gaming streams, probably on Saturdays. The current plan being Elden Ring with randomizers. Because I love watching randomizer runs, and I've not yet played any Souls game with randomizers. I already beat Elden Ring, but it's still fairly relevant and just sounds like a good time. Oh, actually, I remember why I was winging that. I was waiting for my parents to move out before starting that one. I could actually have appropriate reactions. Actually, we were joking about that earlier. You have only seen a caged table. When my parents move out, it's gonna become an 18+ stream very quickly. And YouTube's not gonna like me very much. I don't still have to play. Every time I pick it up, I go and paint a project. Dude, that thing like put a pause to my personal painting for like 3 solid months. I lost some time to that game. One playthrough, in which I had next to no trouble. 140 hours. Because that's just how much stuff there is to do. I didn't really get stuck on next to anything except some of the end game optional bosses. And like a little bit in like the beginning, like the first legacy dungeon, the first big castle, I got stuck a little bit right in the beginning when I was still leveling up. And I still actually have trouble with that area now because you're still leveling up. You don't have like really good stuff yet. But like, yeah, there's just so much to do in it. It's amazing. And it's all like quality stuff. Like everywhere you go in that map, just about is, with like maybe one exception. It's like, there's a lot of stuff going on that may or may not actually progress you, but you can do it, you can explore it, and it's pretty quality. It's very little needless copy pasting, and usually fairly good rewards. Trying to paint this whole ridge thing like properly, it's kind of wacky. Just so close together. There. Can't really dive in. Yeah. Have you played other Souls games before? That is a legitimate question. Like in regard to what you can expect. Play all of them. Okay, yeah, you'll do fine. You do fine, especially if you go in with a plan for your build. Like I went in planning to do like a heavy tank build. I did all heavy armor, great shield, two-handed, like big two-handed weapon, but wielding it one hand with a lot of strength, a lot of stamina. Dude, I had so much stamina. I had like for over half the game, I had more stamina. Like my stamina bar was longer than my health bar. Which also meant I had all the equip load. Like I could equip anything I wanted. Welcome back, Osu. We're talking Elden Ring. And yeah, I'd actually bullied most of the bosses. Pretty hard, because it's like, oh, you don't do an elemental damage. Well, I guess you're just not doing damage to me. Or it's like, oh, you do elemental AoEs. That's cool. Well, I can run and dodge for days, and I'm not fat rolling because I have so much like equip load. Yes, I'm wearing the heaviest armor available in the game. I don't care. Oh, hey, you finally hit me. That did like 7% of my health. Do I have a lot of health? No, not necessarily, but I have a lot of damage resistance. Oh, hey, you stopped moving for like 10 seconds. Not even 10. You stopped moving for like 2 seconds. Oh, I'm just gonna combo hit you with this giant weapon. I do more damage every time I hit you in succession. It's just, oh. What class do you recommend to start? I was thinking Deprive just because it's challenge, but I heard a lot of people say Deprive isn't as crazy. It's not really, and part of that is, so straight up, you get a merchant that you can buy full chainmail, like, immediately out of its tutorial area. You just have to grind some soldier and you can buy full chainmail. So if you want to just go easy mode with Deprive, you can do it very easily. I started with Knight because I was like, oh, I get the heavy armor and the stats for it and a good shield like immediately. And then I found out that I also got a halberd, which is an absurdly good weapon. I used that thing for like double-digit hours into the game. I legitimately changed my standard weapon 3 times in the entire game. Halberd, golden halberd, or whatever it was called. Losing my words here. The giant ghoul and the horseman that you see that everyone gets stuck on. That guy's weapon. And then this near endgame boss weapon that I'm not gonna spoil for you. Those were my 3 like primary weapons for like the entire game. Because if you have the strength for it, one-handing pole axe type weapons is absurdly good. I didn't really use any magic until towards the end I started playing around with the dragon magic stuff. That was about it. Yeah, I would say generally speaking, the class you start with really doesn't matter for crap. Unless you're doing a very specific kind of build and you already want to be using something like that right out of the gate, it doesn't really matter. I'd say probably if you want to do arcane or like divine magic, probably grab one of their classes first because it might take you a while to find any equipment to do anything with otherwise. But besides that, like if you're just going in as like a combat dude, like, it does not really matter. Especially as a Souls vet. Like, I was going to do Deprived Wretch, whatever, for my randomizer run because I couldn't choose what build I was going to build towards, so I was just going to go with whatever I find and kind of lean into whatever that is, because that sounded kind of fun. So, like, the randomizer is going to determine what my build is as I play. But yeah, I really don't think the starting class like actually affects much at all. Especially like once you had like 20 hours in, you could be anything you want. Like you could completely do the opposite of your starting class within 20 hours. No problem. So yeah, if you're gonna do Arcane, grab one of the Arcane classes. If you're gonna do Holy, grab one of the Holy classes. Other than that, yeah, but whatever. Whatever looks cool to you, sounds cool. If you're a weeb, there's a Samurai class that gives you a katana and a longbow and Samurai armor immediately out of the gate. Just throwing that out there. Yes, you get a bleed katana immediately. Although, to be fair, you could do that in Dark Souls 3 too, it just you had to beat the master. Which I'm really annoyed that, who is it, Joe, from Achievement Hunter, like his first time playing a Dark Souls game, he beat the master first time. Like, first try. I was like, are you kidding me? You'll be back in a few. Man, this is kind of crazy. I've dealt with a lot of issues with my eyes vision. They just got a ton of ban last month, so I'm looking back at them on paying like 2 months ago. I'm seeing stuff that I never knew was there, find flash in them all, etc. Yeah, that'll happen to you, man. Hey, Peachy. Welcome to the stream. We're painting a dude. How are you? How are the peeps? How are the peeps at home? Bam popped in my previous stream, briefly. I missed this giant skull in my Iron Warrior's Warsmith's Boulder. Yeah, I've actually done that too. like really early on in my painting. I looked back. I was like, man, that's a skull in this plasma pistol. How did I not? Why did I just paint right over that? This is going way too dark on here. I want it slightly darker. This is a little insane. It's too much. The catch, meh. People are going meh over there. Okay, well, you know, it is meh weather. It was meh weather all day. I really didn't care for the weather. For reference, what I'm painting, by the way, this is a more detailed kind of dude than one of these guys. For reference. For Peachy's reference to get caught up on what we're doing here right now. Yeah. And we were just talking about Elden Ring. Well, me and Tyron were talking about Elden Ring, and he just left, so I guess we're not talking about Elden Ring anymore. Oh, thanks. I'm just glad to have moved on to more interesting models than those troops that I was doing for months. What's my next step? Black Templar Contrast is next. That's what we're next. Yes, I normally sound this garbled on stream, talking over myself and repeating myself needlessly. Actually, it's turning into kind of a joke. Hold on, I want to go back up to Go Sue's thing. Yeah, that's awesome that you can see more detail on those models, Ghost, because that's like a big deal of, you know, again, the details really rolling on that. Brand, you did manage to find a scheme that kind of just covers everything pretty well, without needing to nitpick out details too hard. So you're already at that working for you, but yeah, it's nice to now be able to pick out those details when you want to. Yeah, man, it's kind of shocking, but also relief. Yeah, I can totally feel that. If I started flat out losing my vision, I don't even know what I'd do, man. I would struggle. Like, everything I do is vision based. I guess it'd be time to devote more time to learning music. Because you can get to the point where that's all feel. Yeah, I've been fine with it for the last 2 years. Yeah, that's rough, dude. That's... Especially to get into the hobby now. I wouldn't even know. I am making a mess of this. Jeez. It's the point where I could barely read Twitch chat or play video games. Oh boy. So what changed? Was it just like way stronger glasses prescription, or was this you like ending up with glasses for the first time? Because to be honest, I got glasses so early that I don't really remember not having glasses, to be honest. Like I was a little kid when I got glasses. So, like, I don't really remember what that transition was like. New glasses, but they were a small change. I think it comes down to change my diet, limiting sugar. Yeah, because sugar causes inflammation. People don't want to talk about that, but inflammation affects, like, everything in your body. Somewhere down the line. It's funny that came up, like, the same day I decided that this Friday I'm treating myself to ice cream. Been having craving for ice cream for weeks, but I've not actually had ice cream since like, oh geez, like it was before March, January or February. But I'm down 30 pounds now from when I started really cleaning my diet up and everything. And sinking further, like I'm now under 130 pounds, which is awesome. Talented Gelato is really good. Alright, I'll check that out. I was just gonna go for my classic favorite, which is Ben & Jerry's non-dairy. If I can find a specific flavor, it was... Yeah, I forget. I always forget what it's called. I know what it looks like. It's one of those things where I always know what it looks like, but what it's called, just I always lose it. On. Cheers. There. Caramel almond brittle. That's my favorite. I'd be fine with either the baked peanut butter or cookie dough ones, but that caramel almond brittle, like, Alante. Okay, fair enough. Any of these really bad flare-ups where my eyes get super inflamed and it's unbelievable eye pain? Oh boy. I can't focus on anything or being late, so I have to get my eyes dilated for weeks and downstairs fix it. I can see in your face. I can see one in my face. The ice cream cravings? Or the fact I've been losing weight. The weight loss. Have you... How heavy was I when I first started streaming and you started watching me? A couple months ago. Yeah, I think I've lost nearly 10 pounds in just that time alone. I'm gonna learn, get some crap done, have a good stream, cuz. You got it, Peachy. I will thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. Glad you popped in. Been following since July 27th. Oh, I've been streaming that long? 3 months. Oh, man. I know. Glad you came in, Peachy. I'm glad you came in to hang out. Maybe you'll pop in later. Either way, I appreciate the lurk. Hope you got a lot of stuff done. You're back 1 sec. Yeah. I shall remain. I keep going out of frame. I keep going, like, way up here. Stop that. Stop it! Nah. Okay, Corax White is next. Yes. Yes, I did hit everything. The Black Templar. Okay. Hmm. Oh. Almost halfway through the stream. Almost. Yeah, I need more more flow improver. Keeps flowing into other pink colors. I'm put like way over here. Ah. I feel like the ridges on this specific guy has been very mild. Very nicely on that edge there. Hmm. I don't even know if you guys can pick up the... Oh, no, you can. You can pick up the correct way. Sometimes the lighting really doesn't... justice. Which is telling the truth. We just got a bunch of new people in. Welcome to the stream. This is a White Scar Bladeguard veteran. I'm currently doing the highlighting up. And the edge highlighting up. Because this scheme is insane. And has 8 steps. Because someone wants me to lose my mind. That's fine, because it looks really good. Also, if you're also hobbying, I love to hear about what other people are working on, so do get in chat and tell me. Yeah, not really sure how I'm supposed to light this here. Kind of like that. There'll be some clean up, but there's been cleanup necessary in every single step with this bird. I suppose it... Oh no, the plate makes sense. So it's really hard to smack him behind the knees because that's a very standard weak point in human legs. It doesn't matter how big they are. You want them on their knees, hit them behind the knees. So it makes sense that they would design plates like this for melee combat. It's just weird to paint. Comes right up alongside a bunch of other things. Oh boy, here we go. It's gonna be a whole thing, right? Prepare thyself. Oh man. Well, that it worked. I got in there. I did the thing. I highlighted the groove. Oh yeah, that's the thing I forgot to do. I forgot to put Bam's channel in my recommendeds. Let me do that. Yeah. They wouldn't think Gosu died. It was like BRB 1 second, and I was like minutes ago. That's fine. He'll come back and his whole model will be done. No biggie. This is the first piece. And you got back like 5 seconds after I was talking about you. Yeah, what'd you have happened? What occurred, funny man? I think right now you can see the edge or not the edge highlight, but like the highlight better than I can. Lighting is very weird right now. I just moved all the lights around, so still getting used to that. Like Wednesday, in the middle of my crazy crunch week, I just decided I'm just gonna redo my entire like camera and light system because screw it. Bring my shaker bottle out, and I had soap and hot water in it, and I was shaking it, and I opened it and it exploded out soap water into my face and went all over the wall and in my mouth. Congratulations? Question mark? You managed to create, pressure, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know how that works. That's weird. Well, you know what? The universe was just like, alright, you've licked enough brushes. Time for you to clean that mouth out. It's probably because the soap sud's expanding when I think about it. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. But yeah, now you mention it, Gosu, yeah, I've lost 10 pounds since you started following me. Roundabout. Maybe a little bit more, actually. Because, yeah, in July, July I was still around 140, and now I'm just under 130. And dropping. Like, I'm starting to get close to that ideal weight. I'm not sure what the number is exactly, but I'm starting to tell that there's not a whole lot of fat left in the places where I don't want fat anymore. Also, like 35 pounds instead. Well, yeah, well, it's a lot easier at your size than mine. Our percentages are probably pretty close. Just, like, you know, in dropping and everything. Amount lost and whatnot. Yeah, I guess my new goal is hit 120 and see what that looks like. And in the process, I'll still be, like I start today, now that the crazy crunch is over. Start back up working out today. So I'm gonna continue those core workouts. Still definitely the place that needs the most work. So maybe I'll have a Christmas six-pack. Maybe that would be my Christmas gift to myself is, ta-da, you have a six-pack now. I mean, how long do we have till then? Like 8 weeks? Yeah, I was starting to get there anyway. Yeah, if next week I'm doing both the core workout vids, yeah, I'll be doing like 20 minutes of core workouts a weekday, 5 days a week, resting on the weekends. It's like a, hey XO. Good evening. What D&D legends do you have for us tonight? But yeah, I'm going for a Christmas six-pack. That's what I'm saying. Maybe, yeah, let's say 120 pounds and a six-pack. I mean, I'll definitely hit 120 by Christmas at my current rate, but will I have the six-pack is the question. This is when chat learns I'm actually a very small person. I'm only 5'5". We're gonna go say hi to some of the homies, BRB. Yeah, no worries. You do what you gotta do. You know, I think this guy's looking amazing. Honestly. I have high hopes. All because this little armpit area in the back here is gonna come out perfect. That's the crux of the whole thing. It's so annoying to get in there. Why did they set up like this? Oh man. Just make the shoulder another piece. Alright, alright, alright. We gotta figure it out. I forgot to darken that bit right there. Yep. I can't speak tonight. Can't do it. The tongue don't work. But yeah, how you doing, XO, by the way? Came in, said hi, and went quiet. What happened? I was ready for some D&D stories. Actually, I got some D&D stories. So my main campaign, my long-running cleric campaign, we're prepping to go clear out a wizard's tower. And I half cleared out, and then they ran into something weird and super dangerous, so they decided to quit. By they, I mean the state. So 30 years later, they just sealed it up and said, screw it, it's not worth the effort. We believe that there's an artifact in there that we kind of need for another thing we're working on. So, a whole bunch of people left. Do people not want to hear my D&D stories? Well, fine then. I wasn't stopping painting. I just need to switch colors, actually. Switching over to White Scar. And whatever, for all I know, the Twitch viewer count is all whack anyway. I've heard that several times. You know what? I think there was something in the dark shader. A bunch of it came out pretty glossy, and that's kind of weird, actually. Doesn't normally do that. Fortunately, it's the back side, but before we do the front side, I gotta make sure, or before we do that step on the front side, I gotta make sure I'm using fresh stuff. So the guy isn't weirdly reflective. Oh, I didn't highlight this back panel at all. Let's fix that real quick. Man, we just passed into the halfway mark of the stream, and I am starving. Feels like dinner just worked as like an appetizer because, like, I feel like I could have eaten an entirely second serving of dinner. It's like a ground beef patty, some pepper jack cheese, and a salad. And yeah, I could be in 2 plates. But I am trying to limit the calories a bit. Moment. Alright, Venom. Just got a package in with 20 new D&D minis. I gotta figure out ways to work them in my campaign. Amazing. How are you? Oh yeah, we were talking earlier. You just went super quiet for so long and I forgot. I was just referencing how I was starting to crash a little bit because it's really hungry. It's like, my body's like, food, man. Need some food. And I'm like, nah, I'm at work. Yeah, I don't think I hit this either. Highlight out properly. Not just as at work, but like I was saying, trying to keep the calories down a little bit more. What minis did you get? Yeah, sorry, it didn't work in finally. Now I'm putting the kid to bed. Oh jeez. The grind never ends. Alright. What was I? I'm gonna hit this thing, because this thing's easy. Simple and easy. Just dragging tip of the brush. The side of the tip of the brush. Is the armor points. Got someone of each Kenku I could find as the group are going to have a fight a gang of Kenku that run districts of a town. Oh, cool. Remind me. Kenku are the bird dudes, right? Like the Mockingjay people, basically. Yeah, bird dudes and a bunch of Drager and a Mind Flayer for a quest in the Underdark. Oh, cool. I probably said something in there wrong, but, you know, whatever. Draugr, Duarger, Duerger, Duergar, Duargar, Duegar. Yeah, I have no idea. Pronunciation, no. And a Gogateth? I don't know, it's a 6-head giant spider thing. Oh, I never even heard of that. That is a brand new monster to me. How cool am I gonna do with it? Well, are they intelligent? I kind of think a 6-head spider thing might be a cool encounter for like a as like a non-combat encounter. Actually, they're intelligent. Like immediately made me think of like the spider from Destiny, which is like that's just his title because oh he's like a black market merchant guy. Yogatath. Yeah, I never heard of him. Good question. Let me look up the stats. Yeah. How big is this thing? How fierce is this thing? How intelligent is this thing? In Nig 2, okay. Well, I suppose you could always do a thing where maybe one of them got, you know, cursed slash blessed by someone or another with amazing intelligence or something. I don't know. Okay, I gotta look up what this thing looks like. Six-headed spider. What even? Go get Tess. Go get Tess. What even? It's not even 6 heads, it's like hundreds of heads. I think it's... Oh, it's a bunch of mouths and tons of eyes. Human-like teeth. Yeah, it's not even a weird... Yeah, it's not even actually a spider. It's an abomination, literally. That thing does actual spiders dirty. I actually love spiders in like IRL. So like I'm like it's not a true spider or anything. Yeah, if I use them as unique enemies, I always mess with the stats. I mean, yeah, I think that's really fun to do. Like, I can already tell if I ever do DM, which I think I'd like to at some point. Having more things act more realistically and less like they're in a game. Like, there's a story I heard about these bandits, okay? So this I'm just gonna try to retell the story best I can remember it. So you have a small party of adventurers, like four or five people. Maybe like 4 people. And they're sent to go rid this road of some bandits that have been plaguing it. So they go searching along this road and then stumble into this campsite. And around this campsite are a few people that were just caught, like, you know, mid-activity. Like, they were just, you know, going about their, you know, afternoon or evening at a campfire, right? Or just hanging out at camp. You know, one's sharpening a weapon, another one's cooking something on a spit. You know, doing whatever. Preparing some clothes, what have you. And they all look like, quote, some rougher-looking guys. So the party starts talking to him. And the bandits and, well, the guys, the people at the campsite were initially, like, very nervous, like, you know, tense. But the party just talks to him like, you know, just travelers on the road. Like, oh, hey, we're looking for these bandits. Have you seen some, like, you know, dangerous-looking people? Or, you know, bandits. Have you seen bandits? There, and one of the people stops and goes, you know what? Yeah, I know where they're hiding. There's this cave nearby. And the party's like, oh, awesome. Great. Can you take us to the cave? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And so the people lead the party to this this big valley thing. Not a valley, but like a what's the word? Not like a trench. It's like the fault. It's like a fault. It's like a fault opening. with this rickety rope bridge across it. And across it, that is a cave. And the people are like, yeah, you guys, you go first because you're the mighty adventurers. I'm like, okay, yeah, makes sense. So they're like halfway across the bridge, and suddenly the bridge snaps out from underneath them, and they look back, and it's the people just cutting the bridge. And they're like, what? And then they fall, and then they die. And DM's like, okay, well, you took like a crap load of like gravity damage, of fall damage. You're dead. So the party gets furious at him and is like, yo, what was that? What are you doing? He's like, guys, those were the bandits. And they're like, no, bandits supposed to just like attack you on sight. And he's like, why would they do that? You stumbled into their camp and you looked well armed, but not hostile. And then you offered a way for them to get rid of you. Like realistically, bandits are like scavengers almost. They go after weak prey. They'll just fling themselves suicidally, which is actually a thing I've been noticing a lot in my wizard campaign. It's just like grinding for XP, and it's starting to like annoy me. Because it is just a whole lot of like orcs and bandits and stuff just throwing themselves suicidally in too small numbers for it to matter at all. We're not even breaking a sweat, killing swaths of them. They just keep doing it day after day. Because it's all based on random roll tables. Now, like, this isn't... I mean, like, I guess. Just, I don't know. That gets old fast. Yeah, it does. It was funny the one time that I caused, like, an entire ambush party of gnolls to run away because I made major image of a dull red dragon landing. But besides that, it's just the other dudes, like, kill him off super quickly because I'm feigning to be an illusionist, so, like... I'm not, I'll Mind Sliver one on occasion, and I'll Color Blast, or whatever it's called, on occasion and blind some guys, but, like, I'm not doing much else. I'm not really role-playing much. I try to role-play with the Cleric a fair bit because he's pretty talkative and... his character's naive, and he's probably be the one that would be most opposed to me being a necromancer when they find out, so I should probably get him to like me as much as possible, and that seems to be working. But... yeah. Dude, they still have... it's been a couple months now I've been playing with this group. The players still have no clue I'm a necromancer. It is hilarious. And, like, the cleric is, like, learning all this stuff about my wizard and was asking about how he does magic and what it feels like, and, like, and I was, like, showing him how to do, like, minor illusion, because he has the spell, but he's never used it in the game, like, in-game, so he made, like, a roleplay thing that I teach him sorta, kinda, how to cast minor illusion. So, like, there's all kinds of, like, this cool, like, bonding stuff between me and this cleric, and I'm like, I hope this is gonna be enough. It's like the Mass Effect, like, loyalty missions. It's like, will he be loyal enough that he won't, like, just launch himself at me when he learns that I'm a necromancer with a pocket full of skeletons? What's that song? It's a pocket full of something. What's the pocket full of... what is that? What song is that? Oh, it's Bulls on Parade. And a pocket full of shells. I wonder if I can rewrite that to make the undead work somehow. Okay. Regarding Necromancer, I may hit you up with some sweet tips. My main buddy is a bog hag known as the Deathless Mother, who is an ancient witch necromancer. Nice! You mean baddie. I read that as buddy for some reason. You mean baddie. Okay, well, I can tell you how to use skeletons way more efficiently than most people do. For example, their best melee weapon by far, is a rapier. So if you want a skeleton that actually, like, does work in melee, give him a rapier. In her first encounter, she was disguised as a sweet old lumpy lady, but later dropped to disguise while naked, slit her own belly open, all his bones and debris fell and she ran into skellies. That is hardcore. That is pretty metal. Yeah, Dex weapons. If you're going for... This is actually a thing that my... Okay, so my Necromancer... He has in roll 20 all of his skeletons set up, ready to like just throw into tokens anytime, but they're hidden from the other players. I had the DM hide them. Until they find out they use a Necromancer. And in preparation for that, on all of them on the public side of each thing where they can pull up the art and whatever bio stuff I put in there, I put little text snippets of Viso's like various thoughts and writings and commentary on these different types of undead that he's experienced summoning or reanimating or what have you. And I have one on the roll 20 thing. I think you'll like this. I think you'll like these. Let's see. Go into the game. Yeah, it's starting, but you are a sub. It's all good. Alright. Skeletal Knight, because I have my skellies in the different subclasses based on what I equip them with. Skeletal Knight, which is scale mail, a shield, and a rapier. Quote, I have noticed others give skeletons large, heavier weapons. I'm assuming for intimidation factor. Great axes and great swords and great this and that piece of sharpened metal. However, skeletons are generally not particularly strong. They are, however, very dexterous and fast, particularly in their lack of hesitation in strikes. Thus, I find giving them fast weapons, like this rapier, to be the superior option. Rather fitting considering this one's greater status in life. I think I may have known this kind of weapon. Maybe that's why it fights with the furiosity it does. Terravisa Forsen on Skeletal Knights. And then on Skeletal Archers. Quote, in my studies, I found that skeletons make remarkably good archers. So much so, they've become my preferred use for them. As I do, they attack from the safety of range, unleashing a great many attacks upon the same target, overwhelming even the most potent of defenses. The downside, ensuring they always have ammo, is quite expensive. The upside, they look pretty humorous when they realize they're out of ammo. They become very confused for a moment, even showing such reactions as shaking their head in frustration or scratching the side of their bare skull. Terravisa Forsen on Skeletal Archers. Good idea, they've only fought her once and then had non-combat, but fast weapons make sense. Yeah, they have, like, their stat sheet for standard. I mean, of course, you can do whatever you want as GM with skeletons, but, like, with stats and stuff. But, like, their default stat line is Strength 10, Dex 14, on 15. So, like, give them light and finesse and ranged weapons. Seems to be the way to go. If you want strong, probably go to zombies, which have strength 13. Yeah, I mean, of course you can make more stronger skeletons as the GM. You can just make that, but as a PC, I have to stick with what's given to me in the rulebook unless the GM says otherwise. I also have some pretty cool commentary on the spirits, the summon undead, which is summoning spirits. So my Necromancer's chaotic good. And as far as he's aware, his skeletons and zombies are reanimated flesh and bone. They have they don't mess with the souls of anyone that once used the bones, right? So to him, they're just he's just recycling matter and using them as tools. The summon undead thing involves spirits. So my thinking was, he doesn't summon them per se, he releases them from the jeweled skull that he has, he's captured these spirits over time. And he has different thoughts on as to why they're of different natures. So like the skeletal spirit. Strange things happen when souls decide they aren't ready to move on. Or so when others decide for them. To be honest, I'm not sure why this spirit holds a form of a skeleton, or where the power it uses comes from. Not yet. Since capturing it, I at least can ensure that power is no longer used on innocents. Or vice versa on the skeletal spirit. Or the putrid spirit. Which has a lot of poison and like stats effects nonsense it does. Plague is a horrific thing. A terrible way to go. So terrible for some that their anger and frustration at such a fate tethers them to this world, demanding others experience their pain. Ensure that this one's successful application of that desire is done so on those that deserve it only. And ghostly spirit. On my travels, I've come across the odd restless spirit. Oh, hold on, I was going absolutely nuts as roll tends to do sometimes. Oh, good lord. Alright, hold on. Gee. I'm gonna close that real. That was something. Alright, let's try again. Quote. On my travels, I've come across the odd restless spirit. They're dangerous, but still have a utility for the clever and patient. This ghostly spirit is one who was too slow in achieving their goal, a hated foe, I believe, and died for it. And now allow it, flying on the winds far faster than it could in life and without any possible barrier, release its frustration on the living in a more productive manner. It actually should be productive manner. I'm gonna fix that real quick. So yeah, I'm playing with the idea that you can be a good aligned necromancer. Like just straight up good. Depends on how you go about it. And my party still has no idea. Even though I've been playing with them for over 2 months. It'd be really funny if one of them stumbled across my stream. I mean, they actually know my brand name. It's just, I don't think any of them really care about Warhammer that much. So, yeah, that'd be pretty hilarious if they came in while I was talking about it, and that's how they learned. Hey, if you're in the stream, hush, you. It's gonna be such a reveal. I don't even know what's gonna cause that to happen, because so far I've not really seen anything that this party can't really handle. It's pretty mechanically broken, so either the DM has to, like, dramatically up the CRs that he's using for some of these encounters, or I don't know what. I don't know. Like, we are just so strong, it's disgusting. Alright, a little bit of white cleanup, and then toss a chapter icon on the shoulder here. What time is it? 10 o'clock? I'm tired. Tired and hungry. Another hour to go, though. Well, 50 minutes. 50 minutes to go. Is that white still good? That white is not good. Let's get some white. Army War Painter, matte white. Our cleanup color. One of her assassins they had to fight is in the catacombs where I've got 10 skellies and a bone naga. They're all level 15, should be fine. Ah, yeah. No problemo on that one. More of a pain to keep up with that many stats. So, yeah, I keep my skellies in subcategories based on what equipment they have, for one. That makes it easier. And also, start playing 40k. You get good at playing 40k, you'll get good at, like, rapidly punching out a bunch of, like, skeleton attacks, for example. Like, I've already... In the last campaign I was in with this character, earlier this year, which I was in for a few months, and then they just randomly kicked me. It was the whole thing. We did have instances where I had 29 skeletons on the map at the same time in combat, in extended combat. The combat actually lasted like 4 sessions, but it was like a giant arc ending, like big thing with a giant boss battle. My turns actually consistently still managed to be shorter than the demons because of just wargamer habits. Oh yeah, it was a whole thing. So we were invading, not invading, but we were sneaking into a fortress that had been taken over by a massive orc invasion, literally 100,000 strong host. And this was the center of their new foothold in the civilized lands, and they had a half-orc queen that we were trying to assassinate because she was the one holding everything together. Because this should not have been possible otherwise, without some kind of super ridiculously good leader, like holding them all together. So we use a teleport thing to get into the basement, and we do that with all my skellies and the party. And then what we do is we had a bag of holding with 10 of them with the best equipment that I could give them. Armor and shields and crossbows and a couple melee weapons. And I sent them with our Blood Hunter's Pixie Familiar, who could turn invisible, and she would carry the bag up to the outer wall, invisible, and then dump them out. So they could start fighting orcs on the walls and hopefully take over one of the siege weapons up there, because skeletons can use siege weapons. So there were wall-mounted catapults and ballista and stuff, so their job was to not only cause a lot of ruckus, but hopefully take over one of the siege weapons and starts messing with the well, first it was be one of the two things trying to take care of the gate, because if we could get rid of the drawbridge one way or another, reinforcements couldn't come in from the greater city around the fortress. So then my other 19 skellies, using makeshift shields and makeshift spears, so not super good, but not nothing, made their way through the wall insides on the first floor. This was a 3-story fortress on all sides. To the drawbridge control room, suddenly attacking and overrunning orcs as they went. They nearly got there before the alarm was even sounded, because they were just killing like orcs so quickly. And while the rest of the party, invisible because we had 2 spellcasters, were sneaking our way trying to find the queen to take her down. There were over 60 orcs, 29 skeletons, 6 adventurers, and like 4 or 5 orc characters involved in this entire showdown, of which we killed all of them before getting overrun by orcs, because I never did fully take care of that gate, despite the skeletons killing dozens and dozens of orcs. Yeah, the rest of the game was playing D&D. I was playing a turn-based strategy. I was playing Battle for Westnoth. It was pretty epic and awesome, and right after that arc, they just suddenly kicked me from everything, and I have no idea why. I think this piece is done. Yay. So, I don't know. I don't know. But this new game is pretty cool because the original premise of the character was to hide out as a necromancer for a long time and have this epic reveal, but then that first campaign, like, the party was really cool, but a bunch of them used somewhat necrotic powers already, so, like, it came out in, like, the first session, second session, whatever. So it was very whatever. Alright, so we got a lot going on in this piece. So we do have some soft seal there. We got the belt here. So we got some black we can do. A little bit of red up here. Probably gonna do the cloak red. I know normally they're painted like with a cream or whatever, but I think more red will be good. And then metals for the other stuff, and brown for the pistol case. Yeah, alright. Let's start with black. Oh yeah, there's some knee seal on there. Okay. That's a bummer, never get that surprise pop. Yeah, well, it's gonna happen in this one now. The problem is, I have no idea when or why, because so far the party's super overpowered, and the DM's throwing, like, chaff at us constantly. Like, I don't know. Even though we're about to go up to a red dragon, we're not going to it to kill it. We're trying to convince it to, like, stop making a ruckus based on its lord's demands. And even then, I think this party could, at level 8, somehow take down a red dragon. It wouldn't completely surprise me, because, like, our fighter is next to invincible, and we have an artificer that has really broken, what's it called? Action economy. He has a really broken action economy. And then our cleric has some pretty bonkers stuff too from Tasha's Cauldron. So just like, I seem really weak right now as an illusionist, but what they don't realize is that I'm not even a real illusionist. I'm definitely going to need more black paints. So, yeah, I have no idea. I did get kind of close recently when I used Blight out of my character's, like, frustration, but no one even batted an eye at it. Ironically, I had taken enough health before that I still, when I was asked if I needed healing, despite me getting healing from the Blight. Which, next time that happens, I will describe a bit more that actually happening. But this time, it escaped my mind to mention that as a visual thing, because it should have been a visual thing. So, that, yeah, that's whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, the cool bit, like, there's two versions of a cool way of this going. Either A, like, we're put our backs against the wall, stuff's going really bad, and I'm like, alright, time to reveal my true power, and everyone's like, what do you mean your true power? And I'm like, bag inside out, rattle 'em, boys. Like, and then all my stuff changes appearance, and my mage armor turns all bony, and I summon a phantasmal steed that looks like a giant bone centipede thing, and I'm just sending out blight after blight, or whatever, you know, some nonsense like that. However, with our party so powerful, I don't know when that would even happen. The other one is that someone puts 2 and 2 together through I don't even know what, and tries to confront me, or for some other reason they turn against me, and I have to pull it out then to, like, just survive. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't... Or the rest of the party's incapacitated, but in a way that they can still see what's going on, and I save them through the bony boys. I don't know. I don't really know how this is gonna work out because it seems like they're too powerful for them needing another OP dude. Because yes, I could be OP if I was trying. I'm not really right now because I don't really need to. Uh, yeah. Like, if all of the bonuses were taken into consideration, I think it's our artificer has like can achieve an AC of like 28 at level 8. It's disgusting. And yet our DM is still putting like appropriately CR'd stuff against us. It's I don't know. And again, I've not been there for any significant battles yet, so maybe this is just because we're just traveling the wilderness and we keep rolling ones on our survival checks. For some reason. It's like every other in-game day we roll 1 on a survival check and he's like, well, time to roll a combat scenario. It is also a funny divergence from my other DM, where every combat we get into is somehow meaningful and purposeful, and I'm usually sweating balls during it because we are struggling to hold on to dear life. I mean, we always have external things helping us because we have a lot of allies. And we get involved in very big events, but like we are desperate as often as not. Or at least it feels that way, and then later it's like, was that bad? I don't know. Dude, it's gonna be such a pain to paint around. I'm not really sure how to order the painting of this. I probably should do the block colors first around here, because I'm gonna make so many mistakes. Playing level 8, I'm a level 15 half-orc fighter, a play male, and a few magic items Macy's 20. I mean, it's not all the time 28, it's just he can relatively easily, by using a few things at the same time, to get him to 28. Which is still like, what even can even get a hit chance of over 28 more often? Like, you need a +9 just to get a non-crit to hit. It's just, yeah. It's like literally the meme, give me harder battles. Oh man, they still haven't even seen half of my offensive spells. They've never even seen a third of my spells, period. Like, they don't even know that I have Toll the Dead and Necrotic. Okay. In the first campaign, I renamed Chill Touch as Necrotic Beam, because it may as well be a beam. Because it can shoot through walls, and it's a hit chance. So I call it Necrotic Beam. So it's now stuck in my head, it's called Necrotic Beam. But I have Chill Touch and Toll the Dead. I've just been using Mind Sliver this whole time, because that makes sense for an illusionist. Yeah, I could be And I also have like Ray of Sickness and Blindness Deafness and like Wither and Bloom, like all these necrotic spells. Bestow Curse. I can make someone's day really bad. But nah, I just sit back and let them kill stuff basically with the occasional illusionary support and the odd counterspell. I need to unprepare Tiny Hut and get something better. I had taken Tiny Hut partially for roleplay reasons because I was picking a bunch of spells that would make it make sense for him to care for himself completely alone in the wild traveling, because that's what most of his traveling life has been when he's been on the road before. But also, if we did watches, I was gonna be like, I would use the Tiny Hut to create a pitch black, you know, half dome, to cast my anime undead spells in when it was my turn for watch. So someone couldn't accidentally see me animate dead. Yeah, we just skip over nightly watches, so I should just get rid of... Not get rid of the spell, but like unprepared. I don't know why I still have it prepared. Still have it prepared. Also, yeah, I'm a level 11 cleric in splint armor with a shield, and my AC's at 19, which we're just looking at in preparation for this Wizard's Tower. We have like very few magic items, and 100% of my straight up combat gear right now is still mundane. Somehow. We did find a weapon that we just figured out, like a magic weapon that did just figure out that we could transform it into something I could use, and now the ranger is saying he wants to use it, which, to be fair, is 4 levels beneath us because he was multi-class in the warlock and then he killed his patron. Well, we killed his patron, but he got the final blow. So, yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna just move on to the red because that's what I feel like. I feel like that kind of makes sense because I don't want to try to paint the red after painting the brown on that holster. We're a half hour away. And I feel like my stomach's now doing weird things. So we'll see if I can make it. Gonna give a forewarning. There's a chance that instead of like finishing up and raiding someone tonight, I might just suddenly disappear. Just throwing it out there, that might happen. So I'm just gonna throw it out now. If I suddenly out of nowhere go offline, I am not having technical difficulties of a technical nature. I am probably having technical difficulties of a biological nature. Just, yeah, just so we're all on the same page. It only seems appropriate since you might be affected by it yourself. Alright, so yeah, D&D. It will be kind of cool, I think, as I talk more and more with this cleric, back to my necromancer, as I roleplay more and more with this cleric, which I've been doing a lot of, like, hey, can you roll me an insight, or roll me a perception, and I keep adding these little bits of things that he, because he has really high insight and really high perception, he might catch, or that he, at least, of the party, would have interest in catching. and all these like little different roleplay things about my character, so he learns about it. Learns about my character, about what he's like. He has so far seen, and I've even pointed this out at one point when it wasn't the case, as it being weird, that Viso, his name, his shortened name, is generally speaking, kind, courteous, compassionate, because at one point we passed by a camp of wounded soldiers, and both the cleric and I, because I have an herbalism kit, jumped out to aid the and I'm proficient in medicine, which is actually a thing I became proficient in for better necromancy stuff, but we're not there yet. We both jumped out and aided the soldiers for a bit and got a little bit of reward for that, a little bit in there. So the cleric has seen that I am, or that Viso is humanitarian, which he is. Like I say, he's chaotic good. Like that. Like that's not actually like it might, in retrospect, look like maybe it was a ploy to cover my true personality, but that's actually not the case. You know what would be a really cool way of them finding out if I was a necromancer? If we came upon a village that was being attacked, and I was forced into a situation where the only way I would be able to protect everyone in the area around me specifically is if I unleashed the Skelly Boys to be able to body block more dudes. That would be an awesome way of them finding out that I was a necromancer. Like, that would probably be the peak way. Got some magic items throughout, but nothing crazy other than a Vorpal sword. The sword I had before was Bloodlust heavy to the point I failed saving throws and carved a big hunk of my calf off for it. Then a portable oral? A goblet that refills once a week of poison resistance potion. Nice. Oh, portable hole. Portable hole. Gotcha. A horn that I can blow to summon 1d6 ghost warriors. Cool, but they may be hostile depending on if I get an odd number on a second. Wow. An intense jade chicken that I can summon once a week for a mount. Okay. Seeing that I just watched The Hobbit, I'm thinking he is the giant chicken mount. It's not that cool. Why is the chicken mount not that cool? No, listen, you're the air wielder and the ghost caller and the chicken rider. Listen, I admit it's not as cool as a phantasmal giant skeletal scorpion, but you know, game of flying dragons thinks it looks delicious. I mean, can you blame them? Probably think it tastes like chicken. Except big enough that they care about it. Like, imagine if we knew what chicken tasted like, but it was the size of, like, I don't know, like, literally an entire chicken was, like, the size of a chicken nugget. Would we even, well, I guess we eat grapes, but, like, grapes don't run around and cluck and stuff. It's a lot harder. Like, isn't that why we don't eat, like, mice and stuff? Is just, like, nothing there to eat, really? Like, we don't go out of our way to eat animals, like, that small unless they're, like, bugs that we, like, inherently would capture in swarms. You know? So now chicken, not chickens, now dragons can enjoy the taste of chicken in a size that they actually, like, benefit from. I think it makes total sense. That dragon would be very interested in hunting down that chicken. Especially one of the more like civilized dragons that actually like cares about stuff like fine dining. Dude, you have like a gold or like a bronze or a silver dragon that like their hobbies like fine dining. They hear about this giant chicken and they cross continents to find your giant chicken mount because they want to know if it tastes like chicken and it's large enough for them to actually enjoy it. That's another thing I want to do as a DM. I want like really interesting, abnormal plot lines for dragons because I mean dragons are super intelligent beings with a lot of personality and we use them as like so little, honestly. Like we could do so much with dragons and we're really sitting on this massive creative resource, I feel. Because oh, big monster. It's like big monster, they're smarter than us and they live forever. And they have tons of magical powers, including shapeshifting. You're telling me that there aren't, like, just a bunch of golden dragons running around just visiting, like, inns and stuff? Like, just to hang out in, like, the tavern, like, tavern culture and stuff, or what have you? Just to, try it out? In different places, try different drinks. Eventually, you know, occasionally, infiltrate into high society and just be, like, a, you know, party goer for a while. And occasionally do some cool hero stuff on occasion because they like doing that. Maybe not the gold dragon, but you know, one of the metallics that have shapeshift. Well, you know, greater polymorph or what? Well, I don't know. Dude, be like The Witcher. Dude, I want to do that in a game. I was thinking I want to do this in a game where they meet an NPC and it's a really cool NPC. Or maybe it's like a very mediocre NPC. I don't know, but they still like become attached to this NPC and they're like traveling with it and stuff, and it's this whole thing. And then at some point it gets revealed in like a really epic fashion. It's a gold dragon just in disguise. Which I just realized as I was having that thought, that's literally an episode of The Witcher, and it was amazing. And I called it immediately. Immediately. You're right, I didn't get hydrate. This is correct. My throat is getting quite dry.
Water.
Good evening, former. As it is quite late at night for me. I hope your morning is going well. We were just talking about dragons. And how is an episode in The Witcher involving a gold dragon? And I called it instantaneously, because I am aware that gold dragons can shapeshift. Like, as soon as it was like, this old goofy guy that talks really funny, like oddly wise and stuff, but like, he's actually capable, and he's got these two super hot like warrior chicks following him around completely like entranced with him. I was like, this guy's a dragon. They're talking about a monster or a dragon horde in the area and this is happening. This guy's a dragon. Lo and behold, he was a dragon. They even faked his death. And he was just like, nah, I'm fly away now. Like they show him like flying off a cliff, and his warrior's like diving after him, and he's no polymorphs, flies away. But it's in the book, so well, I didn't read the books. It's because I know D&D, where this is a thing in D&D, but a lot of people forget this. Like metallic dragons, like the higher end ones, they have shapeshifting and can just turn into people. Yeah, I know, everyone says the book. Here's the problem. I have a hard time reading books these days. It has to be audiobooks, and I have so many Warhammer audiobooks to go through, like, you have no idea. I've been trying to go through the Horus Heresy while the Siege of Terra is coming out. And at any point, they could release the last Beckwin book, which I'm immediately jumping on that when that happens. As well as the Night Lord series. And then that's also on top of the other, like, the modern day books to keep track of what's going on in the current happenings in the universe. Like Warhammer's got a lot going on. It's hard for me to add more books to the curriculum, especially when I'm not listening to audiobooks super consistently right now anyway. It's mostly when I'm like cooking or doing chores stuff. I still have my token from this month. It just I've had other stuff to play. Anyway, we have an inn/tavern in our campaign that is in a swanky part of town, serves high dollar hell wines. It's run by Silver Dragon Disguise. Yes! It's actually a business juggernaut and collects his hoard through inns, taverns, over a legit dragon hoard, but earned through commerce. That was another thing I was thinking of. Like, I saw this amazing short story. Was all these like little D&D short stories in there. A lot of them were about dragons. And one of them was like, okay, so you're telling me instead of destroying a village, I can just sit here, you know, for like an hour. No, it was for like 10 minutes a day. I breathe into this thing, and you'll give me 10 gold pieces. And the guy's like, yep, every day. He's like, how can you afford this? He's like, well, for one, we won't have to rebuild the village every month or so. I'm like, yeah. Once dragons figure out economy of scale, like, they can get their hoard through scalable economics, like, pretty good. I read Witch in Polish, Authentic Experience. That does sound like the authentic experience. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the time or will to learn Polish to have that experience. I actually have a top 3 languages. Well, I guess top 4 now. Top 4 languages I would like to learn. And I still haven't even started any of those. Although, I might knock Greek off. Latin, German, and back when I was a teenager, it used to be Japanese. Now I'm thinking more like probably Russian, honestly. It seems more relevant. I don't know, only at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. The Asian interest is really falling off for me. I don't speak Polish, but I understand the written text. Oh, fair enough. That's... Now I'm curious how you managed to get to that point, that you can read Polish, but you can't speak Polish. I'm switching to a bigger brush. I don't know why I'm still using my, like, detail brush to, like, fill in these giant block bits of this, like, cape. I guess now that... Well, I guess it made sense before because I was trying to do it around all the other crap, which I still haven't actually finished, by the way. Still tiny little bits are not actually... It's hard to see because the camera is actually blocking my slightly. There. There. I live a half an hour from Polish borders, so I sometimes encounter Polish text. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, so back to the dragons thing. Yeah, I'd imagine every, like, national council has at least one secret member that's a dragon in disguise. And whether or not to know it's dragon, up for debate. But, like, there are dragons that want to be not just privy, but involved in larger ongoings that do that. Like that's a thing that makes sense to me. And obviously to be like vastly expected, not expected, vastly respected for their wisdom and whatnot because they're obviously hundreds, if not thousands of years old. Dragons make great archmages? Yeah. Because they basically, like, if once they get old enough, they basically are archmages automatically. Here's what I don't get, and I feel like Bright, the movie with Will Smith, did this best, actually. How, like, in fantasy realms, how do humans, and halflings, specifically ever manage to get into any amount of power when they're surrounded by way longer lived races? Like, elves should just dominate everything, because they're elves. They live so long, so depending on the setting, sometimes literally forever. Like, if they're actually active in their dealings, like, the amount of power you could potentially accumulate, or knowledge, or skill in anything across that period of time is dumb. It's so OP. Immortality or long-lived is so overpowered. We just look at humans in real life. We have all this technological might because we have the skill of extending our capabilities through teaching the next generation. So in a way, it's increasing the overall species skill level over time. But you lose a little bit of that every time you pass off the information. Like, it's not a straight one-to-one transfer. Imagine if it was, because you never transferred it. Instead of a long line of, say, electricians, where it's, one electrician and then the apprentice becomes the master electrician, yada yada, and I just use that as an example because I was an electrician at one point. It's just the same guy. It's the same guy. Like, whoa. The downside with that is you do lose some of the motivation to constantly be pushing forward. You have to have a specific personality, type to have immortality and want to constantly push the envelope for bigger and better. That's the thing. It's part of the motivation for bigger and better is because you only have so much time. So I get that. So I get elves would develop slower in general. If you live long enough, you don't care, and let lesser races rule themselves. Well, that's a thing until it affects you personally. And here's the thing. When you get to a certain level of awareness, you realize everything affects you eventually. It's just a question of if it will take long enough, things will resolve themselves before the eventually takes place. If that makes sense. Wouldn't also make you a larger target for evil to wage war on? Do the elves have more battle history fighting the dark than anything/anyone else? You know what? That's a legitimate point. Evil is not stupid. Evil would be like, these guys live forever, they're always the most skilled in whatever thing they're doing. They're the ones I should prioritize taking out. Actually, this should not be black, this should be red. Yeah, repaint that. Yes, if I were evil, like, let's say I was Sauron, right? And this is kind of what Sauron did a little bit, when he could, when he had the power to reasonably do so. When he could, he prioritized the elves. Because the elves were his greatest danger. Like, the most powerful elves, like, you know, the ones that we know, for example, from the movies and stuff that the average person knows, you have Elrond and Galadriel. You saw in The Hobbit, they're stupid powerful. Galadriel especially. Because Galadriel is one of, like, she's from the first civilization of elves under the trees. I don't remember their names. I can never remember their names. The trees' names. Which are the original sources of, like, power. And Glorfindel. Isn't that the hero one that gets resurrected? Yeah, that guy. That guy's bonkers powerful. That guy's, like, literally Lord of the Rings Goku. Like, he is. He was literally, I'm so powerful, I refuse to die. Like, literally, he came back to life. Because he's so powerful. So, yeah, and that's because they lived super long, and some of them were old enough to have seen the original trees, so they actually keep some of that power. So, yeah, you'd want them gone. Because everyone else is massively less of a threat. It was so powerful, Elrond told him he can't join. Yes, and it makes sense, because Sauron actually personally knew Glorfindel. Like, he could spot him across a battlefield. He would know exactly his, like, power signature and everything. He would have his eye directly upon the party the entire time. He was too strong. Gandalf came around after, came to Middle-earth after the, Last Alliance. So, while they do meet up in, like, the Necromancer Showdown in The Hobbit, Sauron didn't, like, think Gandalf was actually that much of a threat, so he was focusing more on his, like, setting up to take over Rohan through Saruman and dealing with Gondor, which was his most immediate threat. Because the other elves were on their way out, right? Mirkwood already had its own problems with it, you know, being Mirkwood instead of the Greenwood. And Rivendell and Lorien, or Lothlorien, whatever, they were literally shipping off Middle-earth. And he was nerfed by Manwë, Gandalf. Yeah, right, exactly. So Sauron was not worried about Gandalf. But yes, Glorfindel, actually, this was a thing that Tolkien himself commented on. He had Glorfindel existing in the universe as he was writing Lord of the Rings. And he thought about adding Glorfindel to the Fellowship. And then he thought, well, there would be no problem that I could think of that he could not be a solution to, because he's just that powerful. So that makes for a bad story. So he thought of the whole, well, Sauron could detect Glorfindel if he were to travel alongside the ring. So that he could not have him with the party. Gandalf was enough power. When you also add in the other members, Aragorn, who's a Dunedain, extremely skilled, and a tracker. Boromir, who's an experienced fighter in general. Legolas, an ancient elven prince warrior. Gimli is Gimli. Just Gimli. It's Gimli. And a bunch of hobbits, which hobbits are like are Gandalf's secret weapon, because no one knows what hobbits can do, and everyone just thinks they can do whatever. Then they get away with nonsense, and people overlook them, basically, all the time. Like, before Frodo showed the Mithril shirt to the Fellowship when he got stabbed by the troll, everyone legitimately thought that hobbits were just resistance enough to take a spear from a troll through the gut and like, live. Like, they just thought that was the thing hobbits could do, because no one's heard of hobbits. No one knows what halflings are. There's this weird mythical fairy dust species in the way northwest. That's all anyone knows about them. So having 4 of them is like, intelligence-wise, brilliant move, actually. And they're also very resistant to evil influence, as not just Frodo against the ring, but Bilbo against the Mirkwood effect, as the dwarves are all going around in circles. Elrond be like, no, Glorfindel, you are too powerful and awesome to go. Legolas can go, though. But Legolas didn't have super crazy magical powers. He was just, like, a really good elven warrior with a couple thousand years worth of experience. Glorfindel, I don't know if you realize this, Glorfindel, back in the first Great Wars against Morgoth, was soloing Balrogs and dragons. He was killed by the chief Balrog. Yeah, I know, I just find it funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's literally saying, Glorfindel, you're too OP. Legolas will represent the elves. Yeah. Because Glorfindel soloed Balrogs. Here's the thing. Gandalf could have soloed the Balrog, like, straight blow to blow on the bridge. It's just, like, he could have done that, just that's not really his way. He wanted to be clever about it, so did the bridge thing, and then it got pulled down. Oh, wasn't Glorfindel? Who did Chief Balrog kill then? Because no, he killed someone important in the Silmarillion. We're also running out of time, which is why I stopped painting. Just fine. Keep going. I'm gonna find someone for us to raid. Unless someone has someone in mind. But yeah, we got a couple people. Let's see if we can raid somebody. Of course, we'll see if what usually happens. A bunch of people jump as soon as I say that. But who knows? Who is online? Oh, jeez. Which... Go to the Warhammer category. We got a couple of big people on tonight, like Frontline Gaming and Tabletop Minions. However, I usually prefer to bring my viewers to people that they could help out a little bit. Oh my god. Does anyone have any recommendations, by the way? I'm open to recommendations. Got Table It Gaming. They're kit bashing Nomad Feastmasters, I suppose. Something Age of Sigma. I'm sorry, my head just decided to cease working there. I don't know. Yeah, it's not a whole lot. Not really anyone catching my eyes. Catching my eye. I don't know. We're also kind of losing numbers and... I don't know. Maybe I'll just call it. It feels weird to me to raid with only like a couple people. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll just call it here. All good? Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm not enough. Thanks for hanging out, Venom. Well, yeah, here's what it is. And, like, I think Venom kind of gets this. It's one thing to, like, raid friends that you, like, kind of know each other fairly well. You can raid them with only a couple people, and it's you know, it's like, whatever. It's like, you're probably going to go over there to hang out anyway. But raiding, like, a brand new person, you kind of want to, like, help them out, you know? Like, here's a bunch of viewers. That's why, like, I feel like unless... I will definitely raid in 2 scenarios. I'll find someone to raid in 2 scenarios. Either I got raided that day, so I want to, you know, pay it forward. Or 2, I have like probably at least 5 people. Like at any given, like at the time of raid, at least 5 people. We're staying at 3, and 2 of you are cool, but you know. Thanks for 1 viewer, welcome. Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean, Ven. that's what I like to not do. Partially because people have done that to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, thanks for the raid, and like my numbers like that go back to the way they were before the raid. I'm like, yeah. It's like it almost feels like they're trying to advertise themselves almost, because they just come in with like nobody. It's like, yeah, you're raiding so that my guys can see you. I don't want to be that guy, you know. So yeah, we'll just call it here. It's fine. It was a quiet day overall. Not a whole lot of traffic, but I also didn't I didn't stream for half of last week, so whatever. Bye, Forma. And have a good day, Former, because you're starting your day. Have a good night, Venom, because pretty sure it's night for you as well. And I will catch you all. Well, I'm streaming drawing tomorrow and painting again Wednesday. Cool deal. See you guys next time.